Oscar. All
Good
the way from
evening.
Italy.
Good
Good to
evening.
have you on Facebook finally.
My goodness, after a long time.
Yes, they have, they did some things to our page, but we keep moving. So if they clamp this page again, we create a new one. The key is to record the videos and circulate. That's the key.
Well, this is the world. Imagine, eh?
Yes.
It's just last 3 years when we used to enjoy the freedom and to speak to the Zambian people freely under the PF, but now under the New Dawn, it's impossible.
It's impossible to talk on Facebook.
My goodness, it's incredible.
It's
Unbelievable.
exactly, it's like it's impossible to talk on Facebook.
Unbelievable.
To have a panel, you can't have it. So I had to change my Facebook page. I had to create a new one. So I think once they see you here, also they'll try to clap this.
Giuliano Mirella, buongiorno, buonasera Giuliano, buonasera. Vedo che mi stai seguendo. Come stanno i stradani lì? Ciao, buonasera. Good evening. I can see some Italian friends there following me.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is.
Oh, that's good. Good. Oh, well. This is a surprise.
We are on a different platform. I actually deactivated that Queen Pumi page. I told Facebook that this page is censored. I can't do anything with it. My membership has stopped growing. People don't see my page in Zambia. They can't find my page. So I am like, what's the point of running a page where you can't do anything? So I deactivated it, and we'll be here. And if they do something to this page again, we are going to create another one.
Yeah, it's true. It's our freedom. It is enshrined in our freedom, in the Constitution, the freedom of speech. And only some people who have something to hide can stop people from speaking and expressing their views. I thought Zambia, after 60 years of independence, such experiences was going to be a nightmare, was not going to be a thing of the past. But then just to come back 60 years after independence, it's incredible. I could not believe it.
Don Oscar, especially the fact that this same government, we campaigned for them on this same platform.
Yes, through social media.
Facebook specifically, not any other.
Yes.
I used Facebook to campaign for New Dawn government, but now my page has been.
And we were speaking very loudly to tell the cadres who were there by that time, to stop harassing the women, harassing the ladies on markets, on bus stops. We shouted the loudest and we said, leave the Zambians to walk freely, to speak out, to wear what they want, leave the civil servants with their freedoms of participating, stop harassing anyone, and just to come and see what is happening. I can't believe my eyes. Incredible.
Bulosh, Chimono Bulosh.
Bulosh wakwasiyawan. Bulosh wakwasiyawan.
I'm a page with a club. The same page I campaigned for UPND. I can't.
Yeah.
If I go live, if I have like 20 people, I am lucky.
Okay.
A page which has almost 100,000 followers. How can 20 people join a page? I'm supposed to get minimum 200 when I go live.
Yes, yes, yes. I know, I
go
know.
live when I'm just starting the page. If I had almost like followers, because you have followers and then you have just people who join in, on a Facebook page. You don't have to be a follower. Anyone can join and watch. Once they go live, anyone can join and watch. So a page which was reaching millions, that page, my statistics, it reaches millions in a month. So meaning a lot of people, they go on the page, but they don't follow. So when I go live, I should not have less than 200, but I was having 20 people, but I've continued until the other day. I'm like, you know what? I can't be talking by myself. People can't join my live. So I'm like, I'm tired of talking by myself. So I just deactivated that page, and now this is the plan. So I've created other pages as well. So if they click page, we are going to move to the next one. Yes.
And I've noticed another bad behavior, or they are sending people to report your page for hate speech and things like that. That forces now Facebook to go and verify, and I don't know. It's pathetic anyway to deny the citizens their rights. It's
imagine.
It's impossible. It's incredible. It's incredible. I never thought UPND would reach that extent. I have to confirm. I have to speak loudly. I never imagined. It's like something strange has happened, has hit the New Dawn government. It's incredible. I can't believe it.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, it's incredible. I can't believe it. And people, they are scared. People speaking to us in our private conversations, scared of the government. The people, they should be happy of the government. When the people, they start being scared, wow. For me, it's just like a simple psychology. And each and everyone should know we are human beings. You cannot threaten other human beings. If you start threatening them, they become scared, then something strange is happening. We hope this does not contaminate the whole state or the 20 million Zambian people, noble patriotic Zambians. We hope it does not really contaminate their minds and their thinkings. And we hope even friends in the UPND, you friends, you know us, come out and say we need the freedoms. Kaunda in the grave where he rests is just looking behind and saying, well, all our sufferings in vain. They fought the foreigners for our freedom. They did not fight the Zambians. Kaunda with the team, they fought the foreigners so that Zambia can be free. We obtained that independence. You remember, gentlemen, 60 years ago, 1964, we obtained that independence with the blood of our freedom fighters. Some of them, they lost their lives, but they were not fighting against Zambians. They were not fighting regions, a region against the other regions. Okay, that's why we love our
independence, right? Pre-colonial.
Yes. Before that was, yes, you're right. That was before independence, when we are scrambling for new areas and places and land. Until when we discovered that we can stay together, we embraced each other and we just laugh about it. But I never, 60 years, gentlemen, to come back and see that a Zambian should be scared to speak. The Zambian should feel as if he's a foreign in his own land, in his own country. That's very bad. That's very bad. I saw that you you wanted to tackle the issue of the bishop's letter.
Yes, yes, yes. But Emily, we have a TikTok live there. So, but Emily, what's your comment on this oppression?
It's very sad, as Oscar has mentioned. Actually, when you talk of Kaunda, Kaunda warned us about this man, towards the elections, though Bali old and he was not too well, but he said you have to be very careful because this man is going to separate the country.
Divide.
And this is what is happening. We have been oppressed. We are not free. We have the future change of the but we cannot express ourselves freely. We can't, because the moment they know you, the CDF Land Cruiser will even have fuel, food tank, and they'll pick on you. So we know we are really all those things,
Yeah.
Because it's really strange. It's very strange what is happening now in Zambia. As that now, that's what I can just comment, because it's very surprising the way things are moving. We don't even feel like we are the owners of this country. We feel like we are the foreigners in our own country. So tachiweme at all, tachiweme. Because if you're today and some could join a Panopa platform, it's because they want to get information to go and sell it to the people, to say, oh, could you also so later and they're tracking us like no one's business. They're tracking us as if foreigners that we have overstayed in Zambia. Now we need to move out. Otherwise, it's very sad. It's very sad for the country, especially that we have celebrated 60 years of independence and behaving like to the Mukolonyo.
Western colonial, because in colonial we could discuss amongst ourselves. We used to discuss amongst ourselves. We used to stay in those small communities. Our parents would talk about what they were discussing under a tree. They would sit down. They were sending some police to disrupt those meetings, but there was some sort of also a possibility to discuss. But now I feel pity. Actually, I feel pity even for the police. I have to say this. The police officers, they are trained to be professional. They went for 6 months training to be professional and to serve the Zambian people. That's what a policeman does when he goes for training. They are police service. Now, I don't know whether it is police force. Is it police force or it's still police service?
It's a force, but even though they say it's a service, the way they are operating like a military wing or something, Gestapo or something.
All right. Well, no, but how was it established originally? Was it a police service?
It's Zambia Police Service.
Yeah, it's not the police service. So we are not going to fall prey to the propaganda or the psychology that they would like to portray. What we want is to speak the truth here. The Zambia police are a service. They serve the Zambian people. They crave peace. They work until the Zambian people they feel peaceful. Even in the night, when a Zambian person is walking in the night, if I remember, even in the times of distress and difficulties, when there were some curfews in those years of 1991, 1990, there were curfews, but the police would accompany the Vashimaini, the miners who are having night shift. When they found the police in the night, the police officers were accompanying the miners to be served to their working places. But now, there is nothing like you are working or not. People, I was so surprised when I was in the Copperbelt and to see people running to go home and reach home before it is 19 hours. I was shocked. So, but what, and they would tell me, don't go outside after 19 hours. It's so dangerous now. 19 hours, you're talking about 19 hours. And if you remember very well, my sister, we were dreaming of a 24 hours business Zambia. Now people, they go to sleep at 19 hours, of course, in the dark, because the lights comes at 22:45, and it runs away, it goes away at 4 hours. Well, and these things, when we speak, if the government was able to listen to the Zambian people, I think we are not going to reach this extent.
Exactly.
We were not going to reach this extent. If I told the government.
Welcome, Auntie Agnes. We have a new member in the audience. I just want to welcome her. Auntie Agnes, can you speak? Welcome, welcome. Okay, so Auntie, oh, she says hello. Go ahead, Don Oscar. You can go ahead, Don Oscar.
Okay, so I was saying, well, if this government could have listened to the Zambian people when they were saying, listen, some of your main key words to say the government has done something, the CDF, the people are not receiving the money. The money is just going into the pockets of the earth. Those affiliated to the UPND government, they never listened. Do you remember the cooperatives? Today, no one talks about the cooperatives. But the UPND, if at all, they could just have listened. All those the money that was branded off, 28 million in a constituency like Kamfinsa, where I come from, 28 million is a lot of money. But then that 28 million, where was it going? In whose pockets was it ending up? Because the cooperatives were not there to be seen. Maybe a cooperative done by a councillor, a cooperative done by a mayor, maybe those, they received the grants and they received empowerment. But an ordinary cooperative, the young people were disappointed. We talked about these things. The government was just saying, no, we are going to increase the CDL. Yeah, it's not a question of increasing. It was a question of the use of such enormous amount of money. They use, no, Copperbelt, don't worry, we are going to give you the Black Mountain. Who has eaten the Black Mountain? Nobody knows. The people from Rusakile, Chamboli, Nkana East, they don't know who has eaten the Black Mountain, but it's gone. All these things. When the people were complaining, you people give something to the youth. It's gone. Now what happens? If the miners, they can complain in Busaki, then they send the police. Well, that's new, isn't it?
Can you mute, please, if you're not speaking? Yeah, so Don Oscar, you have brought up important points, you know, to say we don't have a listening government. That's the bottom line. We don't have a listening government, and then we have a dictator government. And I say so because right now I'm live on a new page. I just decided to open a new Facebook page because the page where I have a lot of followers is clamped. Nobody can join my live. Nobody can see me when I'm live. And then the people who are there, It's like an army of praise singers who are reporting my page to Facebook for fictitious whatever violations.
Yeah.
It's just like, you guys, are you serious? But Agnes, can you mute your phone? Let me see if I can try and mute Agnes, Auntie Agnes, so we don't have feedback. Yeah, so we are in a problem, guys. To remove problem, to remove warfare. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you, which Emily, you mentioned, was that we have all these people, even right now on this platform, there are people who are here to monitor who's here and take a report.
Yes.
Reporting people. That's why now all the people, they have shifted to TikTok because it's hard to identify people on TikTok. But on Facebook, it's easy to identify people. So a lot of people, they cannot join lives they cannot join lives on Facebook. And if they do, they use like another name, but still more, there is a way in which you can be tracked through Zikta.
Well, as long as the people, they are not insulting, I think they should not be scared. You know, in the past, we can talk about authoritarian states and governments. It's just a question of time. What benefits for a state is the democracy has helped. We are staying in democratic countries. What they have achieved for a long time of battles to reach at the freedoms. If I can go outside this time, people are walking free, working, making merry, making friendship. I can go to the seashore just now. I take my vehicle, go to the seashore. I'll find a lot of people. The question is, and this is one of the questions that the government should ask itself. Now we don't have cadres. So what is wrong? What is wrong in threatening the safety of the innocent, ordinary Zambians? Some people are going to say, well, no, because in the night it's dangerous. Well, you might be right, in the night it's dangerous, but that's why we have the police. The police is there not to arrest the people, but to make sure the people are safe. That's the presence of the police. They have tarnished the police to be collecting money on the roads and collecting taxes. The police are there for the security of the citizens. The army is for the security of the nation, to guard our borders from external threats. Police, how I have learned about the police service is the police are there to guard for the safety of the citizens, so that nobody's going to tamper with somebody's vehicle when it is parked. When you see the police, you should salute and you should smile. You say, yes, officer, how are you, officer? Thanks to see you, we are happy, we feel safe. Not when you see the police, then you run away because probably they are going to just throw you in the police cells and say, Chosa belt, Chosa. You see, no. I sympathize with the police. It's a question of governance, just like President Hakainde used to say before the elections in 2021. It's a question of governance. We need people who love the country. We need people who should bring a smile to the Zambians. Pumulo comes from another town in Zambia. I come from another town. I was born from another town. We need to smile because we are Zambians. Not because you're going to ask me what is my surname, then you can enter the job. Well, we are Zambians, man. We are proud to be Zambians. We have always been proud here. Now people, we are in the diaspora. We are scared to speak about what is happening home, because if you speak, then somebody is going to report you. Somebody is going to threaten for deportation. And then they will put now false stories in your mouth. What is important is sometimes some of us, we have records. We have records. So I never offend anyone. I speak about what is wrong, we call it wrong. What is right, we call it right. So employing the nurses, it's a right thing. But employing the nurses using dubious method, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong. Employing the police service officers, it's a good thing. But to employ the police officers using dubious means, it's totally wrong. It's wrong for everyone. For the North, South, East, and Western Zambia, it's wrong. Professionalism is the one which can save our country from distress. Professionalism. If our leaders are going to be professional, if our police are going to be left to work professionally, this is a word to underline. If the police officers were going to be left to work professionally, Zambia will start smiling. People will start smiling, going to work smiling, not people looking like that. They are scared of anyone. You'd never know who is in that car, who is following me, who is behind that door. Well, 60 years after independence, it's unacceptable. We are talking about the government that doesn't want to listen to advice. Sometimes even those you reckon to be your enemies, they are helpful. In psychology, we say, I have only two eyes, so I see only what is in front of me. Now, to see the whole thing, I need somebody who can see behind me. How do I see? How do I have now somebody who can see behind my head? Only another person can help me.
Teamwork.
He's going to, yeah. So my two eyes can only see something about the real situation, just a little fraction of the real situation. So to understand the real thing or the whole story of any particular matter, it's better to have somebody who can also look what you're behind. And so those who can watch our back, who watch our behind, we call those people our citizens, our friends. We call them family members who can help you and say, well, probably you are going the wrong way, or you are wearing a bad trousers. Somebody who is looking at you from another direction can tell you, sir, you have misplaced your buttons. Sir, your car is dirty. Sir, your trousers is awful. Sir, you have not ironed your shirt. We need someone else to help this. So I think this is what this government, I think, lacked very much. They thought those who were correcting them were becoming their enemies. Don't sell the mini mill, they sell them. They sell the mini mill. Don't sell electricity, they selling the electricity. Don't sell what else? Mukula trees. Mukula trees, they've been selling in the hidden. Don't let go of Sujilite trucks. Those tons, about 40 tons, 40, I don't know what this was, 40 tons of Sujilite, very expensive metal, then it just disappears in thin air. Please You cannot put copper in a plane, in a small plane than the one which had been involved in gold scandal. You cannot put a copper into a small plane. That is not copper. That is gold. No, that's not gold. It's copper. Many things people used to speak to correct the government because a successful government would have enabled Zambians to be successful as well. A successful government could have enabled the Zambians to change their lives. A successful government who is going to give a lot of possibilities and opportunities to the many unemployed Zambians. What else? What can we say? Even the church has been speaking. The UPND, my friends, if you can remember, Bishop Mpundu, how that bishop spoke in your favor, how that bishop shouted at the cadres, how that bishop, the only Catholic bishop, was there on media TVs to speak against violence, to speak against the violations of the freedoms of the Zambian people. And what happens? The government is changed and Bishop Eli Mpundu becomes an enemy. Very sad. The bishops have been written, how many pastoral letters have they written? They have written many pastoral letters since 2021, and they have been waiting for some response from the government. What do we hear? No, the bishops are not God. What do we hear? No, the Catholics, they think they are a special church. What do we hear? No, Bishop of Lusaka is just a criminal. No, he has stolen a vehicle. No, he is Lucifer of Zambia. It's incredible, gentlemen. It's incredible what has been happening for the last 3 years. The Zambian people never expected. They thought the new Dawn government was going to learn about the mistakes of the previous government and do something better. No, they never expected that we are going to the worst situation, and no one has can be excused in this matter because we always know, each and everyone, we knew where we are coming from. So nobody thought. The bishop who have been speaking, leave the churches free. Leave them to do whatever. No one would go into a church and control the homily of a priest. How do you go in a church and control how a priest is giving a homily? Since when? Since when? A church was a refuge for everyone, criminals and free people. The only place where criminals can be together with free people is a church. Is a church. Then you go to a church and you say, no, well, this criminal cannot go to the church. He is a criminal. Excuse me, where do they go? A criminal finds refuge in a church. A criminal finds refuge in us who will help them become changed citizens, better citizens. If the criminals cannot be helped by the church, who is going to help them? The incarceration, or as it is called now, correctional services. Correction. You correct people without giving them right justice. The church can correct a criminal. Somebody who kills someone, of course, the law has to take its course, but there is a mentorship that is enormous when it comes from the church. And you go and violate now those places, holy places, where anyone can take refuge. thugs run after an innocent person. He takes a refuge in a church. He finds safety. But it's no longer like this. No, the church doesn't. No, the church is in partnership with the government. These are the words we've been listening. The church works in partnership. How do you send police to your partner? How? How do you send police to your partner? If the church was going to work in partnership with government, that is what the president was saying in one of his functions. No, we serve the same people, you the church, we the government. But how do you send the police to your fellow partner? How do you send the police? How do you lock his premises? A private place for that sake. How do you go and lock it? He's your partner. If he's your partner, it's just like your alliance partners like Neves Mumba, Frank Wadia. You send them with the police to serve them, to protect them. You should have also protected the bishops, especially in question. You should have learned to protect the only bishop of Lusaka, a Catholic bishop who is called Dr. Ali Kibanda. Instead of sending him police, you are supposed to send him protection. And you are going to win the hearts of the people. If you maltreat, you oppress a spiritual leader of almost 500,000 people in Lusaka, what do you think of his followers? What do you think? Indirectly, we are also oppressing them. So, well, there are many things that by not listening to the complaints of the Zambian people, this government, the UPND government, has really pushed the Zambians to the last bit of their survival. Thank you.
Thank you, Don Oscar. We have a brave warrior on the line by Gilbert Rodriguez. You came in earlier. What is your take? And welcome by MLK. We are talking about the pastoral letter and also whatever you feel like talking about, because the pastoral letter touches on almost everything that has gone wrong with this new Dawn government. So it's really sad, sitting here, and we did this 3-4 years ago to remove PF, and now we ushered in a government who said they would do better, but they are worse. They are worse than PF, to a point where now even us to come on air, we have to do Mingalato. We have to find a platform where we can speak before they infiltrate us and do something, It is really sad, guys. For me, I thought TikTok, Yabaichi. I thought Yabaichi, until people are like, no, just go on TikTok so you can continue speaking. They won't be able to interfere. So it's just been like a month that I've been active on TikTok, so that we can drive our audience from Facebook to TikTok. And a lot of people, they're still stuck on Facebook saying TikTok, but that is not true, because TikTok is a very easy platform to use, and their policies are easy. You can join, like all of you, you found me, you can join me, you follow me. It's made, it's easy to use. But then they push this narrative to discourage people from going on TikTok, and then they want us to stay per Facebook, where we are intimidated. Our pages are censored. Just last week, the president came on live. Let's go and interact. Lo and behold, the next day we did a video, and the video just was removed from my page. The video vanished, But luckily, what I do is immediately after my live, I download it. So I downloaded it. So after downloading it later, when I went back, I'm like, the video is not there, but I have the video. I posted it on YouTube. It's there on YouTube, and I reposted. I uploaded it again on Facebook, so it's still there. So this is the hypocrisy of the New Dawn government. And they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be called out for their wrongdoing. I can say that this is my opinion. I can say that the PF had cadres, youths as cadres, but New Dawn is turning the Zambia police into their own personal private security. You know, like people are scared, you know. How can you shut down at 19 hours, you know? In countries where there is environments are safe, 19 hours, that's when people go for dinner. You are leaving homes to go and eat out. You get off work at 5. They come home by 19 hours. People are going to do something. Dinner. People are working. You know, economies run 24/7. But you know.
Do you know one thing? One of the things which surprised me when I visited Zambia now recently, it has never happened. I did not find dogs in the families. There are no dogs in the evening. No barking of dogs. So I said, oh, this is very strange. Then they told me, no, some people in poor compounds, some people, they have no food to feed the dogs. So they cannot keep them anymore. There's no food to feed them.
Yeah, it's an extra having a dog.
It's amazing. Amazing. Wow.
It's going to
Anyway,
get before it gets better. This 2026 election, we have to brace for the worst. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, we hope they can well listen to their conscience. Each and everyone will have a conscience. My prayer is they can listen to their conscience and do the right thing. By the way, our masters are the people. When you are in a public office, we serve the people. That is the truth. Unless somehow someone has a dictatorial mind where you don't care any longer what the people say. It's the Zambian people who employ leaders. It's the Zambian people who change the governments. If the Zambian people are resorted to say, well, we try, just like what has happened, I have to acknowledge the great job and the maturity that the people from the Northern Province and Luapula, they did in the 2021 elections. I have to acknowledge that. I read some article from Sishua who talked about this. The Luapula people, they had to choose someone who was coming from another region and from another tribe. That is called maturity. And the Luapula people, the Mpika, Kasama people, they showed a lot of maturity. And this is what is needed, so that the Zambian people are free to choose with merit. If we can choose a leader with merit, not by force, not by pretense, not by lies, telling the people lies and then you rule them. That's why things cannot work. But telling the people the truth and putting the Zambian people at a special throne. They are our masters. Politicians, you, Pomoro Stumbeko, you are a president. The Zambian people are your masters.
Okay. So, Don Oscar, Brave Walia wants to come in. The floor is yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm interested in this topic. First of all, I strongly feel the government that we have at the moment, they are not the best that we can have. But I think to a larger extent, they are trying. The problem that we have, we as Zambians, is we are myopic. The problems that we have, may I tell you where it started from and how come we found ourselves where we are. This problem started with Kaunda in 1964. First of all, people must be told the truth. Zambia got its independence in 1963. We went to the polls in 1963. There were no elections in 1964. Now, when Kaunda won the elections as a prime minister in 1963, he had to hide that information, and he started pursuing for his absolute rights. So he started pushing that he should be given executive powers. He started pushing for presidency. It was in 1964 that he was given the absolute powers that he wanted. And that is what has been put in the history as the year when Zambia got its independence, implying to the young ones like we had elections in 1964. It's not true. Now, the first mistake that Kaunda made immediately was given executive powers. He started advocating for politics of appeasement so that he can silence all the opposition parties. And in doing so, the first mistake he made was to remove the white tax collector. Instead of just moving the white tax collector, replace him with a black tax collector, they abolished that office. Because they found a lot of money in the Reserve Bank and they started just dishing out free education, free medical, free whatever. I'm told my grandmother used to tell me when it's Independence Day, they used to park vehicles carrying chibuku. You just go and draw chibuku, you go and drink, there were everything was for free. In less than 5 years, we depleted everything. The whites had left a lot of money for us. And if we had continued paying taxes, there were even in Jerusalem, Jesus was asked, should we pay Caesar? He says, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So that was where the problem started from. Less than 5 years, we depleted everything that the whites had left for us. 1968, we nationalized the first group of companies. 1968, again, less than 5 years, we depleted everything. There was national service, there was everything. Unipilik, free. Nobody was supposed to pay anything. You can't run a country like that. Less than 5 years again, from 1968 to 1964, 1972, we had the Mainza Chona Constitutional Review. That's when now we nationalized a larger chunk of the companies. Even those companies from 1972 by 1980, all of them are gone under. 1982, let's nationalize the mines. ZCCM was born in 1982. From 1982, again, less than 5 years, 1986, we had Chambesh mine closed, Chuguma mine closed, Ndora refinery closed, Kansanshi mine closed, Wanamkuba mine closed. So from Kaunda's time, there was no single time elders have been lying to us that we had a good leadership under Kaunda. It's not true. A good leader is not measured on whatever parameters. The parameters that you use to measure a good leader is the GDP, is the inflation. If any of these things are not in your favor, you're not a good leader. That's so. It's like when you talk about Chambish Football Club and Manchester United. The question you ask is, how many trophies has Chambish won? If they've not won any major trophies, Makula, that's simple. If Manchester have won more trophies, they are good side. So even as an economy, if there is nothing to show in terms of GDP, in terms of inflation, in terms of appreciation of the kwacha, you're a bad leader. Simple. It's straightforward. So this is where the problem started from. And where we are now, we've hit the worst scenario. Because I'll tell you, all the companies that we've run from 1964 up to today, all of them, the moment you just get the company, give it to the government, in less than 2 years, it will go under. Recently, we had KCM. I do business with KCM. PF went to an extent of even establishing a cadre's office right in KCM. Less than 2 years, KCM went under. We were given Moban. Less than 2 years, KCM went under. We were given Upgreen. Today, Upgreen is a shadow of itself. So, what we need is a revolution. We need to make sure that we strip off the powers of the president. The Zambian president has got a lot of powers, more than even the American president or the British leader or whoever. The Zambian president has got a lot of power. And as if that isn't enough, the office that has come to destroy now everything is the DC. What they've done, you appoint Umuntu from the party and you call him a DC, and he's in charge of the police, he's in charge. How the DCs have managed to become government officials when they are appointed from the party, that I don't understand, and it doesn't make sense, not at all. They are the ones, the police, before they do anything, they have to consult the DC. The police, before they do, the council, before they do anything, they have to consult the DC. And in most cases, these DCs that they put, they are not knowledgeable. They are people who are government is just good at chanting slogans. Bamubika palas DC. Chimono kuisa nyafo muntu. Tatara bomba penu wakusama fato. You are the CEO, Kansanshimain. You are the CEO. Taking and trained soldier to the battlefield. What do you expect? It's casualties. That's why we have all these problems. We have cadres instructing the police to go and arrest people who have no cases just because it's a DC. He instructs the police, no, go and block that minister, that opposition leader. He shouldn't come here. Go and do this. Go and do this. All these problems were created by Kaunda. If we had continued the way we are governed, before independence, we had the prime minister doing politics. We had the queen doing the administration. What Kaunda was supposed to have done was just to replace the queen with the Ritunga. The Ritunga should have taken up that role of the British queen. Then he continues as a prime minister, but because of greed, he assumed the absolute power. And from 1964 up to today, as I'm talking to you, no president makes economic decisions. They just make political
Okay,
decisions.
we have made your point.
Let me just concur a bit with Babwalia, what he has just said. Babwalia, I would not agree totally with your analysis of the history. And the reason why I cannot agree totally with your analysis of the history is that we cannot count. You, Babwalia, you know very well that one of the weapons that these explorers and whatever you call them, foreigners, whatever we can call them, their names, colonial masters, whatever you can call them, one of the weapons they used was to deny you knowledge. They colonialists, they denied a black man knowledge, access to formation. Up to now, even now, there are some materials like psychology which are not even compulsory in our schools, because a black person should not start using should not do such reasoning. It's like we are like a parrot. A parrot is taught what to do. Good morning, how are you? Good afternoon. Are you hungry? Yes, I'm hungry. And we are repeating, good morning, how are you? Are you hungry? Yeah, this is the government, this is opposition. Beat the opposition, beat your opposition. Shout for the president, shout for the president. We are not parrots. We are human beings. They, colonialists, they did not want us to study and get educated so that we can analyze that it's not all the time you can compare Chambeshi Football Club and Manchester Football Club. They are two different clubs. You cannot make them play together because they are two categories from two different continents and two different countries. You compare a team with your own likewise. And so, why do I say this? They did not want the Zambian people, we are talking in terms of our situation, the Zambian people to use their intelligence, not to use our wisdom. Yeah, I will distinguish the two things here. Not intelligence, but wisdom. Wisdom is when you realize that Zambia has minerals. So you start teaching the young people, even at primary school, to learn how to identify sugilite from diamond when they are young. All these things, Kaunda, I'm not going to accuse Kaunda because it's the beginning. He was not allowed to study materials like psychology, like philosophy. Kaunda, Those people were called freedom fighters. They fought just for our freedom. That was the main point that they wanted to do for our country. Now, us who are coming after Kaunda, we were supposed now to make a step ahead. So to understand that a foreigner, Wawalia, is not going to allow you to govern, to run a mine like ZCCM. It's a foreigner, it's not us. Why can't we learn? President Hakainde Hichilema can never manage to obtain all the rights to run a gold mine, which is in Zambia, which is for Zambians. But who is going to run the gold mine in Kasensedi? Who? Wawari. 60 years after independence, we still say, no, me, Oscar, I cannot have a license, Wawari. 2024, me as Zambian, I can't have a license to mine gold. Why? Says why? Who says that? And no, because it is stipulated in the rules coming from, I don't know from where. This is why, after we achieved the independence, and I would thank Kaunda's mistakes. He made some mistakes, especially when he clinged to power for so long time. People are telling him, Kaunda Mwabomba, 5 years, 10 years, it's enough. Leave it to some other people. Then when he clinged to power, he really messed up also certain things. But I would thank him for many things because he kept the unity in the country. He made us feel one Zambia is true. So this is the benefit of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. But Babwalia, we come to us, we cannot forgive a government like the UPND government who came from the suffering, the same suffering we came from, all of us. The threats from the cadres and minerals going out of the country without accountability. Gold leaving Zambia without passing through the Bank of Zambia. We don't have gold deposits when we have gold under your feet. Where you are working there, where you are walking, there is gold under your feet. But that gold, when you find it, the soldiers are coming to you, they will arrest you for illegal mining of the gold that you have discovered.
On your land.
On anyway. This is what is wrong here. A Zambian, if he discovered gold, the government was supposed to come and say, guys, thank you very much. What is your name? What are your names? My name is Pumulos Tumbeko. My name is Oscar. Okay, you have discovered gold. We are going to compensate you for this precious discovery. Not to send the soldiers to beat everyone and to shoot some of them. What is wrong here? What is wrong?
That's what I was saying. So the problem, how do we sort out that problem? We have to strip these politicians of the excess powers that they have. It's the excess powers that they have that they are misusing. If we had administrators, look at in South Africa, Thabo Mbeki was withdrawn because their institutions have got powers. Now here, the president has got more powers than anyone. The president can do anything. You only come and penalize him after leaving office. Why should we be doing that? Let's just correct the situation right now. We make sure we strip the president of the excess powers so that if he makes a mistake today, he's punished today, not after 10 years when all the witnesses have died, all the evidence has been destroyed. Why should we be doing that?
Yeah, that one you are correct, yes.
But Watson, welcome. But Emily, any comments?
If there's no one coming in, let me say one or two things.
Okay.
Like I've said, the problem that we have, Zambian president has got a lot of powers. It's not true that people who are thieves are just people from yeah, it's not true, because in Zambia, every government that comes in find those that have left as the thieves. bena mumya utamuwa bakabwala bakabwala
abafuminepo mwambo kusontoko mwafumine. How can you arrive if you're olenda? This is the problem. Our Zambian politics, we don't look at the current and the future. We look at the past instead of holding the ones who are misbehaving now accountable. Mwayamkuka komunamayo bapeli amaflati yabalume omletwala kumakoti yonse.
It's just vengeance. It's personal. It's personal. We take personal vendettas there. Not that all of them committed crimes.
So I know, Brave, I like your analogy, but on this platform, for me, I want to bring out solutions. Like what? Let's think of where we are going. What is done is done. You know, but me, I can't even complain. I can't complain why you are kaunda badi bombele mwandini. Badi bombele, and I always say, ima mwema you think and more mwema liko mushta yaba kaunda ngata mwapo kubuntungwa. Because you youths of today, you are selling each other out. And let me explain why I mean by this. Right now here, we have spies. Abalea mukulanda yo pa platform ya kwa kuimpumi pali abanaba baba pera 200 via mukulanda. You know? Our president, our president.
They were jailed. Even in Kaunda it was happening.
No, but to anyone sungu. Mamona, muni let me finish, Babwalia. Donors can say that. Even kunokuba sungu like modern day kunokondine. I'm in America. You know what? Abantu bara ipokolo la kubuteko. I'll give a common example. A common example ichitika kuno. Kula abantu bakobachi aisa kuno takweta mapepala. Akumanya omusungu amweba awe takweta mapepala bala kuchita deport. Nala kupanku peya mapepala. Pakuchibe kuchita deport. Mwamona? This is what we say where humanity wins. Where ordinary people protect each other. Umusungu aleta protect ubuntu wafita. Another thing, I'm a Mexican, but I cross border kuno. Ukwisa kuno, you know what? Abasungu bamu America muno tabazara tabatuma phone ukwebati. Pano mumunga ndamuri ababa Mexican maidi go ise muba sende. You won't hear American ukuchitefu. Instead, the Americans, they have fought like California is a harbor state. Munomu California, they have made the law to say they don't care how you come in the country. As long as you are here, you get a driver's license, you get an ID. If you get medical care, they protect them. You know, that is Ubuntu. So, Zambia, this is the problem we are having where now we are all struggling. We need to eat, but we are betraying each other. You know, there are people who are working with Bahaka Inde right now. They have betrayed Bahaka Inde. That's why Mone now Yomurumendo Napi Bukanumba am Kuchta Mukupokola Barabe Nobo Aretuka. Ulawe no Murumendo Muntu Moine Muri PF Abantu PF barefunya information wa mutu adira. Mwamona uriya muntu tekara mu Zambia no mbaye shibashani fichitika mu Zambia. Because if we to betray for Zambians, and this is until we all just be patriotic enough to fight for a better Zambia instead of stop betraying each other over a few pieces of silver. Zambia that it won't go anywhere.
Madam, let me speak as an insider. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not a sympathizer of UPND. I'm not a sympathizer of PF, but I want to stand on the truth. I'll tell you one thing. This country will fail to manage it because of the same problem that I said, where our president has got a lot of powers. I'll give you a practical example. At one time, I was given a contract by KCM where I was auditing the water for KCM. The whole KCM, starting from Chilabumbo, Chingola, and Nampungo, I was given a contract to do water audit. What I discovered, I realized we can't govern ourselves. We are better off being colonized again. Madam, Konkola is one of the wettest mines in the whole world. Konkola produces, before I explain that, let me tell you what I was doing specifically in the audit. It was just like the same, like the financial audit. I go underground, I measure the amount of water that is coming from underground. Then out of that, I will measure the summation of the distribution, the way the water is being distributed, like how much water is being used for the mine in the processing plant, how much water is being given to the stadium, how much water is being given to Mulonga Water, how much water is being given to whatever entity. And in an ideal situation, the summation of all the waters that have been given to all these institutions should equal the amount of water that is coming from underground. That is in an ideal situation, but that can't happen because we've got water leakages and stuff like that. So now, what I discovered, Konkola is one of the wettest mines in the whole world. Konkola produces 400,000 cubic meters of water per day. Out of 400,000 cubic meters of water, only 5% is used by Mulonga Water because they still depend on the same water treatment. When the population of Zambia was 2 million people, that is the same water treatment plant that they are depending on. Now, you pour out literally the whole 400,000 to the river, it goes up to the ocean, leaving the people unemployed. Do you know the amount of job opportunities that 400,000 cubic meters of water can create? Do you know the amount of irrigation system that you can put up? Do you know the amount of water treatment plants that you can put up? In Chilawong, where there is no water, people dig shallow wells in a land full of water. We've got countries like Kudubai. Kudubai is a desert. They capitalize on morning dew. They capture morning dew, and they've got water from 1st January to 31st December. Kuchina balifika pale voya kupanga artificial water, artificial rain. But if we're not got 400,000 per day with dry taps, go to Chilabombwe today as I'm talking to you right now, you'll find there's no water. 95% of the water is being pumped to the river. What type of people are we?
So, let me ask you. So, can you blame the Wakateka Parivio? Can you blame Wakateka? No.
Yes.
How can you blame one person over 21 million? Because we are supposed to hold him accountable. You know, that is the problem. To a point we can.
I think he is right. The way the system, the way Bachilandishina Nabalava, the way Bachilandishina,
he is
the way Bachalanda Ati, the president has just too much power. The president has just too much power. So, if the president did not have that power, if he does not deliver, if nothing can change from that explanation Walandefia mentioned, there is nothing that can change, then the people, they say, well, then you can step down or you can stay aside. We choose somebody who is capable. If that is going to be done, even the presidents themselves, they are going to be, they will wake up. If they can be challenged before the end of their term, then he will do the best he can. A president cannot just be moving with the airplane and flying here and there, flying there, here and there, without delivering. Then the Zambian people can say, well, what are you doing? So I think it's something that we can also sit down as Zambians and see. Definitely a country like here, also in Italy, it's a parliamentary government. They have a president, but he is not the leader of the parliament. The prime minister is the leader of government issues and the parliament. So if they do not deliver, the prime minister is thrown away. So they have to do the best. They have to work. In 1 year, they have to deliver. You have no option than to work. Now, our presidents, even if they don't do any job, is still there.
So I agree with both of you, but my question, my bone of contention is, if we don't hold him accountable, Mamona, why can't Zambians stand up and say,
we don't have power? We don't have power. We don't have power. Before elections, there is no power we have.
Why can't we use the channel of our parliament for people to talk?
Have you seen the way the parliament has been turned into? Have you seen? Who has turned the parliament in that situation where Parliamentarians, they cannot speak out because the Nelly Moti, the speaker, is going to say, I will nominate you. I'm going to nominate you. Stand up. Go out.
Put Malanda
Well,
powers, because even the speaker, it clearly shows that she's supporting the ruling party, because they should have questioned they should have questioned them there and then when they were doing the sale of parliament. Why, of Mopani, why is it not passing through the parliament? Because that has been
yes. Yeah, very, very wise. Very wise comment, ma'am. Very wise comment. Why didn't the speaker herself question the
that
minister?
is thieving.
Ah, that's great. That's a very wise reflection, ma'am. Wonderful. That's a
Country, why can't I have a strip off?
So you know what, Emily, I love
So
your
you can't
comments,
go on like this. But you are protecting them.
but it still comes back to the people. This is a speaker, this is a president. What about the people? The pressure, the power to the people, right? If we had 10 people like Oscar, or 10 and me, and Wadia, and Emily, we are all talking, you know, but everybody has shut down and gone in a shell. And this is
well, it's not their fault. It's not easy. They have said that they are threatening them.
So then it's like we are not
the opposition.
Yeah.
The opposition in parliament were trying to fight this out. But you saw what happened in the parliament. Was it Alimona? They were bali wachaye mingala tobalia. Bali firo kubomba opposition. They tried their best. But they couldn't, because they overpowered them, the ruling party, because they knew what they were doing. Ngabansa ikatende kena ikwata gold yoko ili. Mwai manoko matini gold. Ero nomba princess landa tiyo. That was if
fake God.
I mean, this is lies. You can't tell lies like that. But I want to full no. Honestly, you know, it's so pathetic what is going on in this country. You can't think, you are not even proud to call yourself as a Zambian. I'm a soldier like Abamo. But if they had sold it in a proper way.
That's why I'm saying the summation of all that is that the president has got a lot of powers. That's why I went back to where
you're joking. Who does that as a president?
Oh. Yeah? You know, the summation of all that, we have to reduce the powers of the president. We need to have an administrator who should run side by side with the president, so that when he makes a mistake, he should be reprimanded there and then. We don't need to wait until I serve my work 10 years ago. Now evidence why should we be wasting money like that? If there is a thing that we should fight for, is to reduce the president.
The problem that we have,
yes.
The problem that we, the president, namushofa yabo obufumaini ngamabika po muntu pa bufumu wakutila ati no bwino olo mpera advisor ala mshita overrule advisor ale focus chef yako, because power na ingira mu mutwe ale yumfaloma neo president ichikuti na chita. That is the mentality of Tukwete right now, currently. That's the situation that we have. Power na ingira mumuntu kuti na chite.
I'm position on separate act. All key ministries, key institutions, I am told they are acting. More acting role.
So the one who is working, who is now responsible, is the president himself. When there is acting, so he's the one, and he has immunity. So this is a strategy. It's a strategy. It's a strategy they have done. So he has immunity. Whatever is going to be done, even this selling of ZCCM IH 51% of shares to Delta, if I hope he was not informed. If the president was informed, then it's a very serious case. It's a case which is which qualifies for impeachment. It's a very serious case. But I hope he was not informed. I hope the disaster came just from the Minister of Mines, Mr. Honorable Paul Kawusa. I hope, because if Honorable Paul Kawusa informed the president authorized to sell 51% of shares of ZCCM IH to Delta without passing through the parliament. Well,
Kusenda
how do you,
kwatili pamushipamu aboshua. Otua papa mwandini.
Oscar, you know what I believe in is that the president is aware. He's aware as well. Whatever Chilanda, he's aware, he's capable of doing that because he's got too many powers. So those powers, they are he can do anything because you
are breaking.
Say IHI, now Mopani was sold without money. We don't know where they know eh? Few Mopani also.
So Mulela that ZCCMHI ama shares plus na kwa Mopani.
no Mopani bashitisha ti kuri wa Dubai abongani wa Dubai but kuri Vedanta, but Vedanta was not there when they were selling. When you are selling such a transaction, very important transaction, how do you sell it when Vedanta was not present? How? That's a question. These are other questions. Can you sell? Even myself, I want to sell my vehicle. The buyer is not there. How do I sell it? If the buyer is not there. So Vedanta was not in Zambia when they were selling.
Go ahead.
Let me correct the situation. I stay in the copper belt and my life is about mining.
Yes.
So when you talk about Vandetta was with KCM. Vandetta was the one where the Indians were running KCM. Then the IRH, these the Dubai guys, these are the ones that have bought Mopani from Glencore. Mopani was under Glencore. Then KCM is covering Chirilawombwe, Chingola, Nampundwe, and part of Kitwe. The smelter part of Kitwe. That is KCM. That is Vandetta. Then we had the Mopani, which was Glencore.
Mm-hmm.
Glencore had Mufurila and part of Vunkana.
Mm-hmm.
Part of Vunkana, that was Glencore. So the one that they've sold, the one that has raised a lot of issues where they are saying they sold it to the Dubai guys without passing through parliament. That is now the Glencore one, the Kitwe and Mufurila. That is Mopani. That's the one that they sold to the guys from Dubai without passing through parliament. Then the one from Konkola, KCM. The issue of KCM, we found ourselves in an awkward position because first of all, we did exactly what we did to Lap Green. Lap Green, Chimo, if I wrong you, then I just decide to slap you, or I decide to grab the vehicle from you because I have wronged you, or because you've wronged me. When you go to court, the court will just say you've taken the law into your own hands. If somebody wrongs you, what do you do? A civilized person is supposed to take such a person to court. Why didn't you come to court? You took the law into your own hands. And from that point, any court will first deal with you for bypassing the law. Then that case will come later. That is exactly what happened to Lap Green. Remember, we grabbed the Lap Green by force, and we lost that case in case you have not followed it. That is exactly what happened to KCM Vandetta. But when they failed to run KCM, and what happened, they were just hoping, if they were given even in 6 months or 1 year, they could have just run away. Now, we grabbed KCM by force. After we grabbed, now they took us to the international court. It's the Zambian government that was scared of going to the courts. So because of that, the Zambian government was advocating that, no, let's sort it out outside court. Let's sort it outside court. And because of that, it gave more impetus now to Vandetta to manipulate us. And we had no alternative but to return KCM to Vendetta because they are the rightful owners. But that has nothing to do with Mopani because Mopani is Glencore. Mopani, that's the one we are saying it didn't go through Parliament. I think I've shed more light on that one. Now we can continue.
We are messed up one day.
We are messed up.
So if I could Mozambique could have to run mine.
But telling the copa no on case on KCM.
Madam, we are losing you.
Valeptai, Musiani, are you there? Watson?
KCM.
Your line keeps on cutting. Okay, let me say one thing before you come in.
But whatever blocker.
Mama Emily Mleputaika, can you go and come back?
KCM Vendetta. After I mean, case, he didn't have money. You know that why should have money to invest?
Cut your line first, then you come in after some time, maybe to improve.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me say one thing. You know what puzzles me in Zambia. I see it as a problem if we are going to pinpoint, keep pointing figures at one another to say this one is wrong, this one is wrong. I'll tell you the bottom line truth. This country from 1964 up to today, there has never been a single year that this country had recorded economic growth. Things move from bad to worse. So we need an holistic approach to this issue. That's why I started from 1964. We nationalized more than 500 companies and all of them went under. Even today, look at ZESCO. ZESCO, we're not supposed to be having these problems. There's no way 60 years after independence, we still depend on the generation system. Colonial. Every year, the only thing that we talk about, according to Article 9 of the Nonsense of Zambia, every year, amendment of Arm Abuse, every year, every year ngabachinja fe president nshwala mfato impia amend the constitution ngabaye bati tufwa endalama twingishe mukasenseri god fair kuimba fene minwe twingishe mwendalama even god mine yestapa bendalama shaisho kuli sujira tindalama sha sujira tapa they can't open a mine now fe kuchita research. Look at us, we are idiots. How do you stay mwalika mchalo 60 years after independence tamwashifatu mwaikala public highest copper deposit avena the Bill Gates ever some kutu ebati.
No. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie, my brother.
So what have we done?
That mine was discovered before independence. Before.
Propaganda.
It's a propaganda. It's a propaganda because they want to work with they wanted to give the rights of mining to the Americans. It's a propaganda. That mine, go into the archives, you will find it. 1945, first mapping that there was that mine.
It's on
Mwomba.
It's even on internet. There is on
It's in internet. They cannot. That's why.
on internet. Mapping
It's there.
there.
Okay. Okay, let me agree. For argument's sake, let me agree. Okay, if you
No. It's the truth. It's not a doubt. It's truth, my brother. I went and saw the map. I saw the map.
Why didn't you organize yourselves as government to say apapali ba God chen twimbe bakituku bakamushi ukuyayimba liyabayimba?
You know, Babwalia, it is opportunist. Apabale won't have opportunities. You know, the government, we are not planning. We are not planners as Zambians.
Yes.
That's the thing. So, Chimono Kwebati, you know, the villagers find gold, but we know the gold is there. But Lasanga the gold in Pambiri, it's their opportunity. So they go and mine it.
But why should it take villagers? We've got geologists in government. We've got
Efotulela that new planning which we thought baka in the batesa na solution ukwebati
Yes.
Zambia.
Yes.
Effort
Yes.
that was our hope to bring UP
Yes.
to say UPND will be a government of action.
Action. And they will turn
Yeah.
round the clock now. And Bali will fix it. That's where it comes from. Because they said, I am an economist. So the economy is going to be boosted because I'm an economist.
All these, I mean, she took a panga from Dubai, took a
Yes.
on our minds. We thought these things would be done in a transparent and credible way.
Madam, let me make you even hate the situation more. You find Zambia is so rich. If it's Chinese, Chinese as you are going to Solwezi, you can not drive number 200 meters without kusanga mine bali sulama Chinese mine. Besa feva isula kufika fitu ayambo kuimba illegal mine. Nga bakasanga nshalelo kagula fe briefcase yanda na makapera wa minister. Bakasanga kagula abaisa beka tare what they are illegal miners.
Number why can Zambians do that? If I say Chinese, what is stopping you from doing that?
That's why the president has got too much powers. That's where the problem is. Inanga Wanjikata, where will I get the briefcase to bribe them? The Chinese.
No, we don't need a bribery. This is all wrong. Like even you saying
yes,
that.
That's what they say. It's
Yeah,
all
like
wrong.
we should have money to bribe. Well, that should not be the case.
Yes, everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. That's what I'm saying. We've got a lot of mines. Nakurusaka balisangama diamonds, kuchipata balisangama diamonds, ama gold. This country.
You know, somebody called me that somewhere Kurusaka bali kwata farm. Hello basanga poka chinga ni gold bamupoka ni Lusaka chinga ni Chongwe or
yes, this is what is happening.
Yes, but not Chongwe. Somebody contacted me. Say, madam, I have a problem. Not Mumbwa. But I don't know. But I'm like, I don't even know how to help people. It's like you're coming. What can I do?
So we have
those people, the owners of those farms, in a place like here in Europe, they compensate them. They compensate them with a lot. When you discover, for example, fuel, petrol, when you discover a metal, a mineral, when you discover the one who discovered the electric engine for vehicles, they have compensated the gentleman. He's a billionaire now. He just have Yes. He just have that title. That is the one who discovered it. He doesn't even do anything with it, but the technology has sold that technology, and the world is going to benefit.
And royalties, but
yes,
Zambia, I don't know.
So now in Zambia now, when they discover these things, they try to hide because you will find the soldiers. If you are just a citizen, you discover precious minerals. Soldiers.
Do you know who is the owner of that Kaseseli mine? The company which was formed less than 6 months ago. There is no record even at the registrar. This is the one who is owning that Kaseseli mine. So is a company is less than 6 months old. We don't even know.
It was closed in 1970.
We need Katwish.
It's Kalengwa mine.
But the Kaseseli mine is owned by a company which is less than 6 months old.
If you mean the one that they just opened like yesterday, that's the Kalengwa mine.
Oh, okay.
Kaseseli is a gold mine, the one that was discovered by just villagers.
Then there's Sensei.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah, it is going to be opened. It is going to be opened, and I understand. Finally, I understand that they might compensate those guys who discovered it. I understand, but some of the people who discover these gold mines, some of them they are shot. Well, we've seen the army shooting at people. Now, what happens if they shoot a person who actually discovers and is shot dead? You can imagine how you lose. You lose in front of
They
such.
don't give a damn. They don't give it a damn.
You know, me, I just think that they should just start nationalizing all these mines. Ngabasanga mine, why become nationalized and put it in a national wealth fund, because this is Zambian wealth. Ama Zambians also feel like the benefit.
Madam, that one I'll tell you, that one will be the wrong decision. As long as we've not put our house in order, as long as the president.
This is what they are doing in advanced countries where they have wealth. Couldn't buy Baraka nephew You're right. No way, Baraka. But Zambia is the two very rich countries in the world with only 21 million people. So how are we going to end poverty when we have all this wealth? Mwasanga kamaini katwish ama foreigners ever lecture on your shares. Mwabika mona 1 or 2 politicians. It's a headache, I'm telling you.
You know, the problem, me I'll tell you one thing. Throughout my life, I do mining. Okay, I was hesitant to come out. Let me just come out correctly. Madam, if you check for Brave Warrior on TikTok, check for Brave Warrior on Facebook. I bring a program called Dichirola Umu Chipalobofi. For the past 20 years, I've been doing a research on the most economical way of running the mines. And I've come up with an invention which I even presented to PACRA to have it patented. I presented it to EIZ that they should recognize. Last year, I exhibited at EIZ stand at the showgrounds here in Kitwe. Then just this year in April, I even presented a paper to EIZ in Livingstone. That solution is saying if you install my invention, you reduce both production and maintenance costs by over 50%. And I've done trials with more than 10 different metallurgical process plants. I did for Chidlabombwe, KCM Chidlabombwe, KCM Mchanga, Chambesh Metals, NFCA, Mopani. I've done for all these mines. And you can imagine where you tell them this problem that you're having, I'll sort it out on condition that you pay me when you're satisfied. If you're not satisfied, don't pay me. I've done all those trials and it has been considered an invention. It's in the process of being patented, and I've done a full engineering paper at the last year I said. If you check my TikTok account, just check for Brave Warrior on TikTok, you will see this page. So what I'm saying is these mines, for as long as we do not put our house in order, like reducing the powers of the president, what happens here in Zambia is that every time you nationalize a company like a mine, the first thing that happens, the DC will take the cadres there. And the company will not even last for 2 years, because of the too much powers. These administrative positions, running of the mines, if we nationalize, is supposed to be done by administrators, not politicians. They make political decisions. Kula bakunofa covered kuli by election. Tabako tendera mashama by election. If they are running Mopani, they will just call the chief executive. Do you have money? Utatkotempia shama campaign. To pay 2 million to shifting to pay them. No, ishindalama 2 million to fill with equipment for the mines that no wait if you to pay them 2 million you to for by election. So they prefer condition people more politics than running the economy. So this is the biggest problem that we have. If we are the administrative wing doing this, then we can nationalize and it will work well. But for as long as it's the politician who is at the center stage, the moment we nationalize, kutwala kuba kanda is our company.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, I will try shout tomorrow. We can come early. But Ishi, I see your comment, because even me, when I got my title, for my land that I got. There is saying that I only own the land up to a few meters. Is it 6 feet? Anything in 6 feet and below belongs to the to the state.
It's for the state.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't even know what to say. Mwandi Muzambia tulina problems. Tulina problems, but we'll be here. We'll continue talking. You know, and you know.
Vamwambe afri ati kaunda mwachanda pa number 1 mwachanda kaunda vari sati free at Fionse free shine, and that's how the country went down. Na eneyo I wanted to give another example. Botswana, Botswana has free education until university, and they pay students. The government pays the students, and they give them free education, free books, free materials, Fionse free. Not our way, what has been introduced now. The way Kaunda Chitidiakale, and giving everyone free. But then the question is this. There is a Nigerian guy who goes around and asking questions and discovering beautiful experiences. He went to Botswana and found this story. So he asked a question. He was asking the students, so you are paid at school? Yes. Why? Then he says, the decision of Botswana is to invest in quality education for the Tswaners. Quality education. When they have quality education, then they compensate the government, because it's true. Ignorance is the worst enemy of Africa. Ignorance. That a member of parliament can be bribed to sell the country's wealth, that is called ignorance. That a president, even a president himself, if he enters into a dirty deal to sell the wealth of his country, that is called ignorance. And ignorance is what consumes Africa. Ignorance. That I can learn something from you, Bamban, because you are in the mining sector. I can learn something from you, and you can. I can also share with you what I've learned on the other side. But if we're in between me and you, here comes the government, the cadres, the MPs, and whatever, and they dismantle everything. They destroy everything. Ignorance is what has pushed the African leaders to enter into corruption without shame.
Mulela Baba Donoska, you are forgetting the greed.
Number 1, the greediness.
Baba ka briefcase, Singapore ka briefcase, Shibaba blinded. They will sign their name.
Number 1, the
greedy.
Number 1. Number 1.
Bale greediness. Yes. Hello, Botswana, you know they get 15% for their diamonds. If we have even reduced, I think this government reduced from 3% to 1%. That's how much we are getting in loyalties. Botswana is 15%. And
they are going to 20. They are going to 2021. They are aiming at 21%.
Actually 30, right? But if we reduced from 3 and then we substituted loyalty to dividends or something like that, you know, we are just like they'll do anything to sell the country down the river. So I think we can end here and we continue tomorrow. We'll be here, we'll be talking while I see Don Oscar is dozing. Thank you, Walia, for coming in and those awesome information. I hope one day we can work together, either even in an advisable role, just to be able to steer this country in the right direction. I think that's what Zambia needs, is patriotic people who just have that, the zeal to see a better Zambia. It's like you are exporting all this money, become foreign accounts. What good is the money in in your offshore accounts. So it's just, anyway, we'll be here.
He has sent a request, but we are closing now.
I've sent a request to join. Let me see.
Just let him greet. Let's just make a greeting. He's a friend.
Okay.
We have been a long time. I think even your platform has been there some time back. Are you there, man?
The other thing I want to talk about as we close, is the issue of education. I think education for us, I think it's not helping us in any way. Because I'll tell you, from 1964 until up to about 1990, somewhere there, we only had one university. We had a few colleges. Today, we've got more than 20 universities. We've got more than 100 colleges, both providing degrees, diplomas, trade schools, and everything.
No jobs.
No jobs. And even the economy, that knowledge level that we've gained, because we've got a lot of Zambians who are more educated now than ever. But if you look at the works that are doing, quite mashirufi. If you come here, I was looking at, you look at places like in Lusaka, even in Dola or Chingola, any town. If you look at the towns that were designed before independence, those towns were designed nishinama computer takuwa AutoCAD, na pencil na ruler bashira. Look at the way they did the water reticulation. Look at the way they did the water road network. Look at the way they did the sewer network. Today, 95% of the places, all the plots that they are giving, they are being given by councillors. Uyo councillor might want Baba Shoprero, voters councillor, system takudi road network.
You know, from Walanda, I don't think the education is okay, but it's the people who are getting the jobs. Jobs are not being given on merit.
That's why I'm saying you give power. Instead, you got Mupere, director of engineering in the council, to do that job. You go and give a councillor. You see, because we've given so much powers to the politicians. Instead, you got director of engineering. Somebody, we've got a lot of people who are
qualified. Yeah, they are not using the qualified people. But it's is refusing to add you.
Well, the other thing to solve the problems like politicians and whatever, there is a proposal to Ngachita. The future, 2026, politicians, they can build in Zambia, and we can tell them, adapt. You can adapt the hospital, Ndola Hospital, a member of parliament, adapts Ndola Hospital, invest in Ndola Hospital. We will remember him. Let them adapt Kitwe Central.
MP ushikwete MP yaingira mu government akwate MP. Let them start government resources in their pocket.
Let them build a new university. Let them build a secondary school. He has money. He builds his secondary school. I'm giving an example. Tasila Lungu Secondary School. It's a good thing. If the money she goes and invests in a school in Zambia. It's a good thing. If they can go and invest in a dam, a new dam in Luapula, there is water in Luapula. If a minister like Brian Mundubire takes his money and build a dam in Luapula, we will call him a hero. And it's beautiful. Not to run with the money to Dubai. Everyone is just running from the country. He says, I'm going to America. To make
you is refusing, so let's try again. Otherwise, you can try cool TikTok. We are also live on TikTok. I'm trying to add you. It's adding you, but then it's dropping you.
Let me drop off, then you try just for the sake of
I think it's not about you, because we can have up to 4 people here on our Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he can try on a TikTok.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway,
we are going to speak and we are going to share our experiences to our people so that no more life yet. No, when I come to power, I'm going to do this. So we want the truth things, the right
we don't.
things. If you don't deliver,
Yeah.
you resign. You don't deliver, you resign.
Like, honestly, guys, it's just sad to see how our people are living despite our wealth. Abantu baberekera mu Zambia imwe. I was watching a yesterday Korean movie. Quite Katrisho code, but you want me at high school. I'm just like,
Okay.
good night, people. We'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you, Don Oscar. Thank you, Abualia. God bless. Milo, we'll try to come early tomorrow.